Siami ben NZAMBI. All praises. NATATA NZAMBI and Pungu Tulendo of Congo. So nini na nini samanda. Nkulu. Hallelujah. For he is truly worthy to be praised. I want to welcome everyone to our channel again. And as I said, we give praises and honor to the Most High. I first want to read scripture, and I'm doing this purposely because it was what was laid on my heart to do first. So the scripture I'm going to read is out of the book of Ezekiel. It's the 37th chapter, and I'm going to start at verse 21. 37th chapter, starting at verse 21. And say unto them, this is the Most High speaking to Ezekiel. Thus saith Tata NZAMBI, behold, I will take the children of Isolele from among the heathen, whither they be gone, and will gather them on every side and bring them into their own land. Verse 22 and 23. And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Isolele, and one king shall be to them all. And they shall be no more two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms anymore. So let's stop there. I'm not going to read 23, but we'll stop there. The reason the Most High said this, and I'll back up a little bit, in verse 20, he says, and the sticks whereon thou ridest shall be in thy hand before their eyes. He's talking about bringing the two sticks together. And he first told Ezekiel to put the two sticks together, and they shall be one in his hand. He then said, I, Tata NZAMBI himself, will put the two sticks together, and they shall become one in his hand. So what I would like to discuss on this morning, this afternoon, is unity. We must come together as one. It was first done by Ezekiel, who was a man. He was a man of the Most High. He first brought the sticks together, and then Tata NZAMBI approved it by bringing it together in his hands. So we must come together. I am honored. I am so humbled and honored to have with us this afternoon Queen Ngningone, along with Honorable Chief Dr. Patrick Mashele, if I do hope I pronounced the last name correctly. He's a chairperson of the Congress of Traditional Leaders of South Africa at Gertsabande District in Mpumalanga Province. And we're honored, very honored to have them with us. And I did mess up with Queen Ngningone. She's Queen Ngningone II. And I believe the 17th generation of the queen of the Fang people. All right. So welcome, welcome, welcome. And we want to talk about unity. So I don't know, is the queen with us yet?
At 5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So let us conversate first with Chief Patrick Mashele. Welcome, welcome, Chief. Welcome, Bayete.
Thank you. Pleased to be here. Greetings to all. All protocols, I think they are properly observed. Thank you. Maybe if I may just talk while we're waiting for the Queen to come in. And I was reading one quote from a certain guy, I think he's based in India, this guy. He actually highlighted what I thought it was just a proper about the divisions, which is actually everywhere, wherever, even in the house sometimes. Mm-hmm. You find that yourself and Mama, she's going to another direction, then you go to another direction. For example, by religion, you go to that church, you go to this church or that church. This guy said, as long as we still calling ourselves names like I am the Muslim, or I am the Christian, or I am the Zulu, or I am the Swazi, or the whatever. Mm-hmm. Will still remain scattered.
Yes.
While we still calling ourselves, I belong to that political party or to that church with the name Church X, will remain scattered. Mm-hmm. He also advised that the best method of beating all of this is to undo the sense of belonging to certain religion instead of belonging to God, the Creator, without even knowing his name or her name, if God was a man or a woman. Mm. We belong to the Creator. I think that is the best way. We don't know his name. We belong to the Creator. Mm-hmm. So he created us that we are certain, no doubt, no, you can't say you are not there or we are here, we are created.
Yes.
So he is there. So he's the one we have to look at or upon. Mm-hmm. And start to work on all these other things like belonging to all these things that keeps us scattered. Then once we call ourselves children of mankind, mm-hmm. then we're done. We're done. Because when you look at me, you're looking at the man, a human being, a creator, created by the God Almighty, the creator of the universe. That is what if we want to talk unity, the real unity, then that would be the way to go. Because if we will still think, for example, I'm from the organization, the Contraresa. Oh, you are Kimfari. Oh, that one is Embo, and that one is then that division is there. So no unit. Mm-hmm. There won't be any unit on there.
Exactly.
So a unit will be, let's be realistic. Do we need a real unity, or we just want to continue where this thing is? Then that will make us, in fact, we'll be working on the real effort to unite.
Bayete. That was really really good. What you were saying, it was really good because even when you look at the religions, there are so many different religions. You know, one believe they have the truth, another believe they have the truth, and but like you said too, we are the children of the Most High, created in His image. You know, after His likeness, and our ancestors, they did not do what He said to do. In other words, they turned and went another way. They started serving or going a whoring after other gods, which He told us not to do, which caused us to be in our current situation. We're not in the land, we're scattered. So we're called children of the diaspora, so to speak. Now that we are awakening and we know that we are children of the Most High, there's a phrase that we so often say, "Sawubona," meaning I see. You said "Siyabona." Yabonga. I see the King in you. So now we're looking beyond the physical, and we see the Most High in you. So if we could just start with that in itself, knowing the Most High said He will bring us together and make us one stick, no longer two kingdoms, but one. We have to start doing that now. We have to. It starts with us. It starts with us. So we have to make that connection. We have to connect with our brothers and sisters, not only in the diaspora, but on the continent.
Okay.
So, you know, this is an open discussion, you know. Come on, Princess Ada.
I mean, I'm really just listening because everything is being said right now is true, and the one thing we spoke about the other day on the phone was this for like in the diaspora here, because of course I can only speak from the perspective that I have of being here. Unifying isn't just about coming together. It's also about recognizing the time that we're in. When we fail to realize, when we fail to recognize when it's time to transition, as we talked about yesterday, you know, it causes problems for everybody else. And it makes it to where whatever opportunities it is that we could have to unify, whatever opportunities it is that we could have to come together, to bridge the gap, to bring the two sticks together, when we fail to do our part of this, that's where it is we find ourselves getting deeper and deeper into what it is we've been having to deal with up to this point. And so just thinking back from when I was in Christianity, just growing up as a child, that thought of, you know, the rapture and all that stuff, it removes the recipient of that message from a participatory standpoint. We no longer look at ourselves as participants in our own deliverance. And that's something that, in my personal assessment, has kept us from being able to succeed in certain areas, because we've been taught for so long that, oh, this thing is just going to happen. The two sticks are just going to come together miraculously, boom, out of thin air. And that's not the case. And so, you know, only thing I have at this moment, because I'm really just listening to the wisdom that's before me. We have to start viewing ourselves as a whole, as a collective, as having a part of a part of our deliverance.
Yes,
That's another thing that I see in our people is like, we just think it's just gonna happen, but there's work to be done on our behalf. You know, escapism doctrine with zero accountability. That's exactly what it is. Escapism doctrine with zero accountability. You know, we have a role to play in this. If we have had a role to play in our destruction,
Mhm.
then why wouldn't we have a role in our healing and in our coming together?
Ah, beautiful point. Mbolo, Queen, Ngon, Mbolo.
You are beautiful and amazing, royals of Africa.
Bolo, bolo, bolo.
Mbolo, my people, how are you?
Bolo, bayete.
Bayete,
Ah,
bayete, bayete. All
Bayete.
right. So, well, today, thank you for inviting me to spend a little minute with our beautiful and amazing children of Africa as we are tackling into the healing of our people. Now, those of you who already have watched the video, okay, where I basically kind of gave the background of what truly happened at home. Contrary to what the white people books say, you know, what their books fail to say is that they wage war on our land and our people like they never fought anybody before. So, you know, nevertheless, you know, we had our own part into it because the Creator just didn't allow a bunch of savages to come from Europe to come and overpower us and destroy what we have built and pull our children out of our homes. It just didn't happen overnight, right?
mhm.
We were warned that it would happen if we were not to unite. So as we failed to unite, you know, when the enemy who had a greater technological warfare advancement, so when they showed up on our shores, you know, even the kings that they couldn't military defeat, they found cracks within their walls. So until today, we're dealing with those cracks because, as you know, it takes a king to kill another king. We, the children of Africa, the descendant of the royal priesthood lineage of God, He made us king, all of us. So what does it mean? It means that for any other rat or idiot out there to have access to any of us, one of us has to open that door.
Yes.
So what happened to us in the past had happened due to our disobedience. But Tata Nzambi is giving us the opportunity for a do-over in this time, in our history. All He's asking us is for us to stand as one, as He meant for us to stand in this world. So we're getting the opportunity to do what, you know, to take the test over again, right? And prove the naysayers wrong. So the matter of our unity, it's deeper than other people, you know, want to make it believe. It's a matter of our survival as a people. We will not stand a chance. So when we talk about unifying, I know it sounds so harsh if we ourselves, Africans, were unable to live at peace with our brothers, other tribes next to us. But now it's even more so difficult now that we have been penetrated by outside influences. Our people, whether on the continent or those they stole from us, have been in the hands of the worst kind of savages. So now the challenge is even more difficult. But I want you guys to not be discouraged, okay? there's a lot of people among us trying so hard to keep us divided. But what I can tell you is, in the eyes of NZAMBI, our creator and father, we are one.
Yes.
The law of God, the law of the creators are laws. What does it mean? When you break the law, you could be the best person, the nicest person on earth. When you break the law, you get the punishment. Now, reverse it. You could be the worst kind of human being, but if you observe the law, as evil as you are, guess what? You will get the reward.
Mhm.
So if some of you have been wondering why the Western Bloc, as evil as they are, they just seem to get a break. They just seem to overpower us, right? I'm sure many of you, I have made that observation that, come on, how come? No matter what they do, they succeed. Is because they penetrated us in a way they had access to our secret. Everything Tata Nzambe revealed to our ancestors, they got that blueprint and they're applying it for their own.
Yes.
So that's why they seem invincible, because this warfare is spiritual. I keep on saying that. So everything we held dear and sacred, they demonized. They drove us away from our strength. All right. So now we just lost trying to figure it out. But every single action we take bear consequences.
Yes.
They came from a culture of not valuing women. Women were good for two things, pleasure and reproduction. They had no culture setting up, giving a place in their society to women. They used to drag her by the hair. A woman used to be, in the Western society, a woman used to be a community property.
Oh.
So if their contact with our ancestors, they taught them that a woman is so valuable because he who owns life and gives life dwells inside of her, walks with her, right? So they turn around, they put their women on a pedestal, and they taught us to hate our women because they know that the Black man's power is hidden within his women. If that woman is not the mother, that woman is not the wife, if that woman is not the sister, there's always the feminine, because we the women, we the one who bring forth, and we the one who hide you. When things get tough, we go and petition to the creator. You will get faster results than if you try to pray yourself. So Nzambe, being a God of balance, he gave equal share of power. So when we put our women behind, it caused the Black man, since we're under the rulership of a white man world, it caused the Black man to always be at the bottom of the barrel. That's why you see them coming up with laws that protect women and children. It is spiritual.
Yes.
Because everything they put us through, everything they did to us during slavery and colonization, they did it on their women. They used to set their women on fire when they suspect them of being witches. They used to set their women on fire when they conceive a child outside the wedlock. This is the kind of cruelty treatment they put their women through before we enlighten them. Now look at the break they are catching. So the unity will also start with mending the relationship with the female kind. The female kind are the one that bring forth. My grandfather told us that during the Bantu migration, when our people started moving around, the dad will carry the spear The sons would carry, the dad would carry the shield, the sons would carry the spears, and the female child will carry the calabash of water. Because to our people, water represents life itself.
Yes.
The presence of water is the proof of life. The absence of water is absence of life. And where there's life, there's God.
Wow.
So as long as they walk side by side with their women, God was going to walk them, take them to the intended destination. So we need to go back to that. So our sons, our daughters, they need to know that divided, we are so defeated. We should just pack up everything and hand it over to them and ask for our new slave quarters. Together, united, we unstoppable. This is where we need to go back to. I know that some of our fathers, they took liking into the colonization of their mind. They took a liking into making them believe that they're superior to the female kind. But they tell you you're superior to the female kind in their own countries. They can't even touch a woman and get away with it. Have you people thought about that? Okay. And if you observe the countries where women and children are oppressed, neglected, and everything, these countries are usually chaotic. It just seems like countries where, you know, anybody who fights against them has a guaranteed defeat. Look at the Arabs. No matter the amount of wealth and stuff, they're still very marginalized in the world scene because of that. So wherever women cry, the creator, Tata NZAMBI, runs away and stays far away from such places. So in mending the family, we have to, you know, come back to our senses and educate the women and make them see the power that reside in them. They have to be cognitive of the importance of them being right in their head, heart, and soul for our people to be saved. So we need to come to understand that the woman has a strong role. So I would like to invite all of us to work toward building her up, because the war against the Black man was particularly waged against the Black woman. Because these people saw our mothers fight in battlefield. They never seen that. They on the continent, they encounter armies of full of females, so they knew that the Black woman is a very powerful human being that we need to basically reduce to nothing in order for us to better conquer her man. So you see, now that we know everything they did, we just have to go and make right wherever we did wrong. Okay? So do not get discouraged. A lot of people, a lot of us, as we're speaking right now, we have a group of African countries, the ECOWAS, I don't know if you're familiar, group of African countries, France has ordered to impose sanctions on Mali, who are carrying it out in this day and age. Europeans still have that power on our land. Tell their brothers and sisters, sanction him, close the border, don't touch them, because they're trying to free themselves from my occupation. And we still have leaders who sits down and carry out such nonsense. It's to tell you we still have a lot of work to do. But let one teach another. United, we are invincible. Divided, we will fall forever. I don't know if any of you still have another 500 years of oppression and slavery. Because when you see them fighting for Africa, what do they want? They want another slave trade. Their populations are aging. Their economy is to the ground. They are in debt to their teeth. Who do you think they're counting on to build another wealth for maybe another 500 years, 1,000 years? As Africa got the youngest population on the planet. So if we don't unite, we won't make it this time. So our unity is a matter of survival. Bayete, my people.
Bayete.
What a profound statement by Royal Majesty, the Queen.
Bayete.
Really, it reminds me, I don't know if I'm getting to be talking too much. I saw a lot of people in the meeting. So, but okay, I'm taken by Her Royal Majesty's statement. It reminds me when I grew up under the circumstance, all kind of the hardship. I don't remember when I joined the revolution, the struggle, the organizations that are on the struggle, the union, the wedding, united, you stand, divided, you fall, all were used in all those structures where we came from. Your Royal Majesty, I think you said it all. We begin with individual ourselves. I think everyone, wherever they stand. I remember one other meeting here. I once said, right in the corner where you're standing, does any one of us remember that?
Yes.
So we need to go back to that, brighten our corners, wherever one stands, make it the corner ready to join other corners. It is very good thing that we discuss this, and we must not shy or fear to say whatever is in one's mind, because unity is not just it's not anything next to anything good or will come easy. Unity, everybody in their mind, when you say unity, they know unity in their perspective. If you say unity, maybe I say unity with my family here, not with you. Or if I say unity with my friends, or not with you, or with that one, or with this one. So we have to bring all of that together. But okay, one thing I want to say is that everything has got a starting point.
Yes.
We can start now. And talk about it, and try to see if we do understand each other, or we are talking the same language when we say unity. It's a kind of unity that will bring us together, or the whole world, because now we're talking the diaspora and the continent Africa. So are we referring to the unity that will say all of us, irrespective of your backgrounds or what have you? So yeah, thank you, Your Royal Majesty. Let other people speak. Thank you so much.
You know, I would like to say everything that both of you have said is of utmost importance. You know, how we look at our women and treat our women. You know, the problem is because we are dispersed in the areas where we have taken on the ways, culture of where we are. And so we behave in that manner. We react in that manner. We've lost the respect for our women because of the culture that we have taken on. So I say this, we, all of us, both men and women, must first disconnect ourselves from the culture and ways in which where we are.
It's contrary to the way of our ancestors, that is.
Exactly. Okay, we're on a path to recapture what is rightfully ours. And that number one is culture. We want to know and we have to grasp our culture. We know we have family on the continent and throughout the diaspora. So that's number one. Who is my family? Now, I'm not talking about tribes. What tribe did I come from? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the nation. I want my family to come together. So let us first disconnect ourselves from the ways and culture of where we have been dispersed. And I know some of those ways have been brought over into the land, Africa, Imbo. They have taken on that culture from the other nations, the other people, captors, if I may say. We have to break that. We have to know who we are. The term, Ugubani. Ugubani.
Who are you?
Yes, sir. Yes. So we have to know ourselves. And we have to walk upright in who we are. The Most High said he made us in his image, after his likeness. We are gods, we are kings, we are queens. So let us drop what the white man has put upon us, saying we're nothing, we're nobody, we're less than human. No, we are human, more than they. And let us come together, because as the Queen said, when we come together, and Chief said that we are strong, together we can stand, unite. So what they're doing over in the land, I'm sorry, I'm passionate about this. It bothers me. What I see them doing in the land, let us come together and get them out.
Exactly. Simple as that. You know, when we were growing up, my grandfather used to tell us, if we go somewhere and then a fight break out, my grandfather would ask us, when your sister fought, where were you?
That's right. Right.
Simple, you know, and he told us, you get involved first. It's when you get home that you ask all the questions you want to ask. After you give them the beating they deserve, this is when you get home, you say, okay, my brother, what was that fight about? But you have done.
Right. Yes. I love that warrior spirit. Yes. Yes. Yes.
That's what we do. And the tribe I'm from is the Fang tribe. We are considered extremists per the white people, because in our area, they just couldn't find anybody to sit down and talk any rubbish with them.
Mhm.
So the Fang people, even if you like in the marketplace, somebody assaults you, all you need to do is say, my brother, where are you? In our language. They will drop whatever they're doing. They will come and put their hands on the person bugging you. It's only after the fight is over, they will ask you, what was the fight about? And these are values we need to go back to.
Yes.
I mean, they don't care, even if it's 50 against 1. But if you call, my brother, where are you? They're all gonna rush and put hands on that person. So that these are the values we need to go back to. Now, the French, they were so scared of keeping the whole of us in one land. So they scattered us about. And we found ourselves, you know, spread between German, between Portuguese. So we landed in 5 different countries.
Wow.
So, but as far as I'm concerned, we can go back to that. My brother, where are you? We are the one. We go and help them get rid of these idiots.
Yes.
Because the white men, they always have that assurance. Even when you see them sit down with our leaders, they have that smirk on their faces because they sit assured that you who's talking hard, tomorrow I can find one of you to take you out. That easy. They have that confidence.
Yes.
And we need to change that about us.
Yes, ma'am.
Bayete.
Yes.
And deal
A long way.
with those who side with them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because when you look at all the big communities, I have a very, very good friend, she's Chinese. So one day she invited me to Chinatown and we ate lunch there. The food was extremely cheap. I'm like, wait a minute, is this real food? Or she giggled and laughed. She said, no, it's real food. It's just that the labor is free to the owner. I'm like, how's that? She told me Chinese bring slave or servant, right? They have them work for them for 7 years. And the person knows not to cause the person who brought him or her over any trouble. Because guess what? If they come and play the American game, calling the police, alerting Department of Labor and all that, the family back at home in China will be wiped out because they have broken the code.
Whoa.
So they have a unit. It's like a killer's unit that goes around the world, set anybody straight. Anybody who tries to betray China and Chinese interests gets whacked.
Well, seems like Africa needs that.
Yes.
The Jewish people, they have the same
The
thing.
same thing. Yep.
The Jewish people have the same thing. That at the wake of the Holocaust, they went around cleansing. Among them, the Jews who participated, who held the other side. Oh, they went through a cleanse. It's about time Africa comes up with its own.
Yes, absolutely.
Because like this, we're gonna be at the mercy of the oppressor.
Yes.
Some people will sell, some of our leaders are selling our lands.
Right.
Selling it to foreigners. Making Africa their own personal stuff. When we are a nation of people, half of all our children are still outside and they're scheduled to come back. And they must come back. Whose land are you selling to? Chinese?
Yes.
But we need to come up with a special unit. So the message is out that if you betray our people in a manner, you won't hang around enjoying all that money. what they do. It always takes one of us to get one of us. Only a king knows where the other king hides.
Mm.
Bayete.
Bayete. Wow.
Bayete. Bayete.
That was very profound. Wow. So everybody can unite and have a system, a code to keep themselves in a position of power, but us.
But us.
Like someone said in the chat, that our people unite with the enemy, and they don't realize it's more of us melanated people than it is of them. So it just seems so logical for you to work with your people versus them, because it's more of us. But they seem to have imagined that they're more powerful, and they're not.
They're not.
No, they're not. They use mental manipulation to, especially our family on the continent. You know, as you said before, Queen, we've lived with them. We know their language. We know what makes them tick. We know their inside and out. We know them, but they don't know them on a continent like that.
No.
They are not the image that was presented to our family on the continent. They practically worship them.
Yeah, they do. The fear of the colonialists is still in many of their mind. So they go from the way they get these guys, they have that complex of inferiority. So the person they hold as superior, when he comes and flatter them, start giving them little stupid awards, it does something to our father's ego. Some of them, it goes to their head and they feel honored. But because they know that the Black man #1 obstacle is his own ego.
Mm.
So when they rub it a little, that's it, they got him. Because the guy's mind is like, these people went from whipping us to praising us. So he goes, they don't know that it's a trick. They of the air elements. So they control thoughts, they master thoughts. They understand how the human brain works. Whatever you believe, you become.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very important for them to make us believe we are slaves, to make us believe we are born to serve them. So that's why they play all these mind games.
Mhm.
That's why they won't allow us to have, to live at peace with them. They will always do something to bring us back to back in the day, like when they killed George Floyd. I was like, what was that?
Yeah.
It's like they won't allow it, community just to rest because they terrorize the mind, they terrorize the thought.
Mhm.
They know we are people of God. If we get zen and serene, we can connect to our source. That's why they do everything to rob us of our peace.
Mm.
But we need to do better than that.
Yes.
We need to, because these people, as far as I'm concerned, they're so insignificant to us compared to us. The whole work, we need to think of it outside. You take away the emotions, the feelings. You go through with logic. God gave us a lot and God gave them nothing. So they have to come and get ours, period. So when we start thinking about them in a kind of war strategy kind of way, #1, we have to think about securing our natural resources. And when I talk about natural resources, it starts with our people.
Yes.
Yes.
Our human beings. Secure them, make sure they come home. And once they're home, it's the sons and the daughters of the land who protect that land, period. Don't give them anything, don't give them our athletes. They still come and get brains in Africa. The minute a little child invents something, they take that brain, they take it to Europe.
Mhm.
Everything valuable,
Yes.
they remove from our land.
Yes.
So we need to start working on stopping that bleeding.
Mhm.
That's why it's important we mend the African family, the males, the sons out there.
Mhm.
The children your sister are having outside the wedlock are yours.
Mhm.
Claim them. Go sign that birth certificate. You will see how Tata Nzambi and the ancestors will bless you when you act in such matter. They make you a king. They make you a real king. This is what we do. We don't allow our blood to go outside and be adopted by their people.
Yes.
You see our children in the hands of these white perverts because the black family is weak.
Yes.
So our sons out there, take your sister's child as yours. That's what the Bantu culture says.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So let's take care of our own. Let's cut them access to our wealth, and it starts with our own people. Cut them access to them.
Yes.
Bayete.
Bayete. What she's saying is absolutely true. What she said, it happened in my family. My grandmother was 100 and some years old when she died. I had a cousin that was on drugs. They was going to take the child from her and place the child into custody. And my grandmother, she said, don't nobody take children away from us. We keep our children ourselves.
That's right.
So her brother stepped up and he adopted the child and he raised the child, is raising a child as is his own child. She said, we don't give away our children. That's what my grandmother
We don't
said.
give away our blood. We
That's
don't give
exactly
away
what
our
she
blood.
said. Yes. And he's still in the family. She nicknamed him Angel.
Yeah.
The same applies to our old age people.
Yes.
We, as Africans, we don't have the so-called old age home. We
No.
never had that. We kept our cream in the house. Every day you learn from them up until they depart.
Yes.
So, but today you take your own ancestor while she's or he's still alive, you take them to the home. It's more like taking them to the prison. So yeah, I'm just attesting to what my sister there is saying. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough, very tough.
Yeah.
It is.
So it's only when we give value to ourselves that the rest of the world will value us, you know?
Yes.
When we, you know, anybody in the family, you know, you identify the strongest person in the family and everybody gather around that one for support. Because sometimes your blessing is tied to one person in the family. You do your part toward him or toward her for God to release your own.
Wow.
That
So you
was.
see how unity is crucial.
Wow.
That was a heavy statement.
It was very profound.
Powerful.
That hit me.
Mm-hmm.
But because Queen, what you said makes so much sense because it's always that one in the family that is seem like the backbone, the support that's always there to help that particular one. I don't know, in my family anyway, I've seen that. I'm quite sure y'all have too because
Yes. Everyone has
You
that.
have to be able to identify your king.
Whoa.
Remember, we royals, right? Our families are to be run like kingdoms. No same kid has the same mission or the same gifts or talent. You have to identify the one who's like what we will call the troublemaker. Even the troublemaker, you mold and shape him. He be the family mercenary. Everybody is useful. The healer, you're gonna see one particular child that will be very caring to the other one. You will see the one that when others are not, would think about others, or save their food or think about doing this, that's your king. Because the king or the queen is the mother of them all. This is the one who wakes up first in the morning and goes to bed last. This is the one who cooks, serves everybody, and eats last. The king is that father or that mother to the pack, but the others must support him or her.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
because the blessing will come from him, and when he comes and is spread over. So you will see in some families, there's that one particular one that holds it all, because they were able to identify among them who got it.
Wow. You just solved a lot of family issues right there.
Wow.
Oh my.
This
We
is
have
so
failed to
powerful.
identify and to support that king in our family. And because of that, we see so much upheaval in the family because of that, in the Black family.
Yes.
Jealousy.
Yes.
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 As opposed to supporting that one, we choose jealousy and to sabotage and to set them up and to do everything else aside from just love and support that one. It's just like what they did with Shaka.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, you can mold. Even the gangster, the one everybody has lost hope that he will ever gonna be whatever. Don't throw anybody away. Sit them down. You don't, Papa, you don't want to go to school. You don't want to do this and that, but ensure they have love, because love is the driving force. Teach our children love. Ensure they have love for their people. Ensure they have love for their family members. You know, and from there you can mold them. If they disrupt, you can bring them back on the right path. You say you're a gangster, oh, maybe you're the family mercenary. You need to watch out. You need to, you know, when the kids come home, you want to make sure everybody is home. If you catch wind somebody is after a member of the family, you ask. Everybody is useful.
Powerful. You know, I'm loving this. I am loving this. But we don't want to keep our royals, you know, our chief and queen too long, because they're very busy, very busy. And I know for you, Chief Mashele, that it's late, it's getting late over there. And we don't want to keep you. We want to make sure that you can spend time with your family and relax. But I would ask quickly, if anyone has a question, you know, pertaining to our subject, unity, for either Chief Patrick Mashele or for the Queen, Queen Ngningone, please present your questions.
I had a question. With so much wisdom in the room, I have to ask this in terms of the unity, and we know what to do with those in our family, people that are trying to divide us. So we know what to do with them, but what about those ones that are just subconsciously negative, whether from past trauma and different things? And I know it's very important in our fight for freedom of all kinds to keep our peace. So sometimes it's hard to deal with all that negativity, but where balance, where do we leave some people behind that just aren't ready? Or do we just continue to try to open their minds?
Good question. A very good question.
Thank you.
I will say these questions should be or need to be answered by all of us in the meeting. Why I'm saying this is that we are embarking on a journey of uniting the people. We were talking about the family, starting from the family, growing them, preparing them to be leaders of tomorrow, kings of tomorrow, queens of tomorrow in the house. Now, going to the public, it is going to be the reflection of us sitting here, talking about it, understanding it. We are the ones who are going to go out there and talk to whoever is there to come on board. 1% at a time will be enough. It's like we have very educated people, very educated academically, but they are almost, I'll use a bit of a vulgar word, stupid. Highly educated yet stupid, because they're believing in the teaching of the colonizers.
Yes.
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 And then that is highly disturbing. So they are not different from the one who are taking drugs.
Yeah.
Oh.
Whoa.
They are not different. Yet there are, some of them are doctors, some are lawyers. When they stand there talking like with, some kind of, you see, So all of that, we sitting here. I would say we are the most fortunate few who are actually waking up from the sleep which our forefathers have not, they wouldn't have woken up until today. We are the one waking up today.
Mhm.
And then we must, with the understanding we have, we must take it out there and teach and bring as much as we possibly can. This unity is not going to start in the very vast majority or plenty of people. We'll start with the very few here, and we must come up with a mechanism which will inform. If you take somebody from the street and they train them, then they'll take it to the next person. Like networking, you see these networking people, they bring this one, join this, and then grow it that way, and so forth and so forth. So that is how we need to spread our unity preaching to our people out there. But the bottom line is that we need to unite and then assist our brainwashed people to go in some kind of a robust cleansing. Yeah, we need to. In fact, we need to do that. So that we don't waste time, because the very people we are talking about, it's in their genes to actually give us trouble. They are planning around us 24/7 while we are enjoying ourselves, celebrating 24/7. You'll find most of our people, especially our youth, in pubs where they take alcohol. They are celebrating nothing. When you ask, what are you celebrating? They won't tell you what they're celebrating. When you sometimes do, when you go to the pub, one day you say, today, I just want to go out and, spoil myself. Once in a while, but they 24/7. So if you think of where is the future leader from such people? Princess Ada, are you there?
I'm here.
Yeah, you hear what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Our youth, they celebrate 24/7.
Yeah.
So if you want to understand what are they actually celebrating, it doesn't make sense. because you only celebrate once in a while when you achieve something. Then you can consume a little bit of alcohol. So just to, you get yourself a bit, but not every day, like an old man who is in pension. It doesn't work like that. Bayete.
So how do we deal with the toxic family members? I think that was part of her question too. She was asking because we know that we are a broken people, Queen. In the diaspora, on the continent, we're a broken people. We have a lot of psychological trauma within us, within our DNA, because we are our ancestors. So the things that they encountered, the things that they endured, it is within us. So sometimes people can deal with it better than other people can. And within the community, the Black community, I see that there's a lot of toxic relationships within families, mothers and daughters and sisters and brothers and fathers and sons. So how do you deal with that when you're trying to work with family, but it's so toxic? But you love them, but every time you're around them, it's toxic. It's no peace. It seems like it's lacking love, peace, that community feel that the family's supposed to have. So how do people deal with that are enduring that?
Okay, my dear daughter, what we have to understand is many are called, few are chosen. All right. So all we need is, as long as in every family, there's at least one, right?
Yes.
All we need is one trailblazer in all the families, because this is how it works, especially when we're talking about migrating, like going back, going somewhere. Like us African, we don't go somewhere where we don't already have somebody ahead of us. So when we travel, there's always one of us that has made that journey, that is already there, who tells us what's going on.
Yes.
So the trailblazer will be the one paving the way home. And this is how it works. You have to understand. You guys are sitting there in front of us today because you are true sons and daughters of Africa. What does it mean? A true son or a true daughter wouldn't care the health condition of his father. Even if his father lives in a hut, even if his father lives in a cave, but wherever his father and his mothers are, a child, a true child, will always show face. As it is right now when it comes to Africa, since the fall of our people, we have become very unattractive to the world, including to our own.
Yes.
So a lot of us don't even want to be associated with such failure. But what I can tell you too, the chosen sons and daughters of Africa, you carry on. You can tell them, because your job is to enlighten. What it means, enlighten. You're the light bearer because you carry the truth about our people. You are not brainwashed. You are not colonized. Your mind is not enslaved. You know what's what. So that makes you a light bearer. You illuminate them. You enlighten them. Put that seed in their head and keep on going on. You will see that when things are looking good for Africa, when Africa rises up again, we're going to have many children, we're going to have many friends, everybody going to claim us and all that. Just keep in mind that while we are in the rut, while we stink, while we ugly, while we look defeated, we, the true sons and daughters of the land, only we know what NZAMBI has put in us.
Yes. Yes.
So you have to forgive those who are in that toxic mindset. It's not that they just hate Africa that much. They just don't want to be associated with failure.
Wow.
and we look pretty weak right now.
Mhm.
Very.
Yeah.
So you have to keep that in mind. The trailblazer, we carry on with the mission. The mission is, uniting the children of Africa. Those who would want to unite, you can't force them. But we carry on to lift up our faces and to take our place on the world stage. Only when that drastic work is done,
Mhm.
then a lot of people will follow suit. A
Absolutely.
lot of people will want to come home. A lot of people will want to openly claim to be part of us.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So don't let that deter you. You have to understand the mental illness they're under, all right?
Mhm.
Because a child of a land is a child of a land. I don't care if my father is poor, if my mom is dirty, I will always go to my father's house. I will always go to my mom's house. I will make sure they don't run out of anything. I can afford them. That's the role of a son, that's the role of a daughter, and that's what we are doing when it comes to our land and our people.
Bayete.
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 Just real quick, this came to my mind when Nadia asked her question. One thing I think that could solve this is that we have to get to the point of when we identify the strong ones within, whether it be in the family, in the community, in our friendships as a whole, supporting that one. I know it's been said before, but supporting that one, even if you don't agree with a standpoint, even if you don't agree with a point, even if you don't even agree with maybe the way that they're allocating funds or whatever it is, if you don't agree, if you have a disagreement, we have to change the way that we go about said disagreement.
Yes.
That right there is going to do so much for our unity, because there's something that we see amongst ourselves that you don't see other cultures do. If someone disagrees with the way that, I don't know, somebody does something in another community, you don't see them go and go on a slander campaign. You don't see them go and do everything that they can to tear that person down, to tear down their business, to tear their mental, emotional state down, going after them personally. These are things that we have to nip in the bud within ourselves. It's not going to come from outside, because everybody else makes money off of that.
Mhm.
Supporting the shows that are out that encourage the breaking of families. If we see it in a community, there's one strong family, and you see that your family is weak, befriend that strong family, as opposed to, oh, you never have this woman going and she wants to sleep with the. That has to stop. That has to stop. So there's things that we do within ourselves. We have to change these things. When we see somebody that's strong next to us, just, even if you don't like them, respect them enough to not do anything if you don't like them. Because stepping back and being quiet is just as powerful. I would say it's more powerful than you saying anything at all.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, the dealing with the toxicity, there's really nothing we can do. What we can do is plant a seed in their head and let them know, listen, we're no longer slave. If you believe this, and that, but you carry on. Because when you're dirty and impoverished and all that, you won't be attractive to many.
Mhm.
You understand?
Yes.
People want to be associated to these dirty European because they show, their outlook is like they got things together. They run their evil empires successfully. Something we haven't been able to do. So people rather side with them, and some of our children claim they're not even from Africa anymore.
Yes.
Some of our children claim they are native of America.
Mhm.
And this is one of the things that grieves my heart so bad, because it's one thing. The enemy comes, kill my father, rape my mother, and pull my brothers and sisters out of my house. It's one thing. But when, you know, I go look for that brother and that sister, I'm like, come on, let's go home. Let's go home. They're like, no, where you going? Where you gonna take me? I'm not from there. Do you know how hurtful? It's just so hurtful. So this is what we have to deal with, the rejection of Africa. Not only the rejection from the world sees us as a piece of meat that needs to be, you know, killed, chopped, seasoned, and cooked and eat. Now, the other rejection is those of some coming from some of the children we lost. You know, it's like, you claiming to be from this land? Really serious? I'm like, no, come on, let's go home. Tata Nzambi saying this time in our history, we must return, because he's gonna rise us again. He's gonna heal us. Come on, my brother, come on, my sister. They be like, no, I'm from here. Why? Because of the wealth our people build for them.
Yes.
So you see?
Yes.
So we have to be, when you carry yourself in a way, you walk in your truth. By the time we're done, when we rise, smelling good, looking good, they're gonna wanna be us, just like their masters. So we have to exercise patience. All right, these are broken souls. Nevertheless, they're still one of us. Even in dealing with them, even in handling them, don't crush them, because they're still one of us. Get yourself out of harm's way with them. Protect your information. Anything you know they can use and run and tell their master, keep away from them.
Right.
All right? But don't crush them, because at the end of the day, that's our father's son, that's our mother's son, that, especially those in the diaspora, they mix you guys up so much. I told you guys that my kingdom, when it fell into Portuguese, I mean, they fought us. We have 11 generations of kings wiped out, and their children and everything taken away. So it's to tell you that many of you walking around are my direct blood. I don't even know it. So you always want to preserve, you always want to make that room, because at the end of the day, we are all one. Just do your thing, dust off, carry yourself in a royal manner.
Yes.
When the Babylon collapses, they're going to look back, oh, I still have an identity I can claim. And when they come to us at that point, it'll be a whole different bargain. We will give them the blueprint. Welcome to our royal palaces. Leave the savagery at the door.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
Bayete. You know, Queen, so based upon what was said, what you said, which was profound, and Chief Patrick, it has to do, and even Princess Ada, it has to do with the mindset, because I don't see Africa as what you mentioned. So it has to do with the mindset. I don't see Africa as poor. I see it as being robbed, stolen, and our people being misused and abused, raped. That's how I see it. I don't see it as poor. It is full of resources. They are the ones that Mama Africa feeds the world.
Yes.
They are rich. Yeah. They are rich because of our resources.
Yes.
Our resources, point blank, you know, but the image they have out there about us is so unattractive that a lot of our own people don't even want to associate themselves with us. But we who know the truth, we stand on that truth. We will be their regulators. We will be their decolonizers.
Yes.
When they come around, we will be the one having them sit down like, look here, Papa. Listen, Mama. That savagery you learned over there, and I hope you left it at the airport when you came, you know. It will be a whole different dynamic for those who have been knowing the truth. We become the teachers. You see, we will become their teachers. So we have to sit firm on our role. Bayete?
Bayete,
Bayete.
bayete.
Yes, yes. Well, I tell you,
Thank
I
you,
told
everyone, for that. Yeah,
By-
sorry.
by
Yes, because
it,
the patience is one of the things that just hit me that I somewhat lack. And my house is that house where so much Black excellence of all kind comes through. And when I hear my brothers and sisters saying certain things about the continent or certain things about, oh, we'll never unite or certain things like that, I cut it to the core and no ifs, buts. I stand in my truth. But then sometimes I'm like, you know what? I shouldn't let certain energies into my house because it gets daunting. But just like you said, patience. I need to have patience with people and their purpose, why they're coming to us. And I'm planting those little seeds. So I should just be patient. Thank you.
Bayete.
Bayete, yes.
Oh, what a meeting today. This one, I would, I would have missed a lot if I didn't attend this meeting. I'm telling you, I'm so happy.
Well,
I want to suggest something. We have a number of members in the meeting. I haven't had some of them. They haven't said a word. Could we just give them to say something so that we get to know we are together here? You know, this is what we call unity. You might find they differing way away from where we are. So you may find they've got better things to say than we said.
yes.
So can we maybe just, with your permission, facilitator, give them some platform to share with us whatever they have in their minds and
Yes.
by it.
Yes,
Good
Bayete.
idea.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
We won't call names.
Nope.
I can say, I actually wonder, I'll say something. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
So one thing I've noticed, and just for my family personally, I kept on worrying about how I was gonna wake them up to all these different truths and stuff like that. And I started to notice that, no matter if they're the toxic types or the non-toxic types, that the Most High keeps bringing them around me constantly. I mean, it's and I keep on wondering, I'm like, aren't you supposed to be blocking these types of people from my life and stuff like that? That's what I'm thinking. Like, aren't you supposed to be blocking this stuff? And really, the Most High has just been telling me to see through all the nonsense, like all the stuff that people are bringing to me. And instead of shutting them out, my family members, to start pulling them in and continue to plant those little seeds of wisdom within them, because I was so worried before that they wouldn't wake up. And now slowly I got my family talking about moving to Africa. The ones who were saying I'll never go there are now saying that's where I want to go. And it's slowly been creeping in. I just have these little conversations every day with them. These little conversations, they all matter, because each time we have that conversation, there's a little bit more truth in it for them, because you don't want to bombard them with stuff because they're not always going to take it in like that.
Yeah.
So I just give them a little by little, and try my best to spend more and more time with them. And I'm starting to see people changing completely. Their hearts are starting to change. Their minds are starting to open up. Their spirits are growing with discernment and all kinds of other things. And I just see the work of the Most High just getting through them. And all I had to do was just be there and listen to what they have to say. Give my little 2 cents here and there of seed planting, and it works. It works because once you say something, someone else comes into their life and they mention something similar. Someone that they trust a lot or they look up to a lot will say something similar. And then next thing you know, it finally clicks in their head and they're like, oh, there aren't the Africans don't have a lot of just kids with flies flying around them, and they don't have no food and they don't have this and that. It's nothing like that. They're starting to understand that, that the picture that these countries have been painting on Africa they've been poor pictures. You know, they've been giving them they make it look like Africa is just like the poorest place ever, and it's nothing like that. And I've had so many family members coming to me saying that they think that, you know, Africa is so poor and they don't have this, they don't have that, and corruption this and corruption that.
Yeah.
And you know, and I'm telling them, you know, let's be a part of the solution to making the, you know, to making certain things better. Let's be a part of the solution instead of you know, these are our people. You know, even if you go by science, you know, even if you want to go by science, science says that the first people came from Central Africa. So if that's the case, then, you know, these are our, you know, these are our forefathers. You can't deny them. You can't deny that culture. You can't deny these people. So if you see your people struggling or going through something, or you see corruption, you got to be a part of the solution. You know, so, you know, now it's getting to a point where, you know, we're starting to talk, we're starting to connect a lot better now in the family, in my family. And there used to be a lot of separation, but now that we're coming together, which y'all said earlier, you have a certain individuals that kind of hold everything together. And I see that occurring in my family now. So as said, we just have to have that patience, because the patience is key. And you know, I was running really thin on it and with a lot of different things. And, you know, the Most High is just revealing to me that I need, you know, more patience, even more patience, because the more patience I've had with my family, I've noticed the more they've grown, because I've been able to sit there and listen and talk with them. So, you know, that's all I have to add.
Brother Gordon, you've touched a point, corruption. Those are true in most cases. The systems in place right now, they are corrupt. That's where you start. And then obviously, when the system is corrupt, do you expect someone executing such any task or in there being clean? Or they cannot, because the system itself is corrupt. And then, but let's get back a little bit. The propaganda by the colonizers to make the people of color bad. It has been, and it is even way, way too big or smart. So what we need to know is that, or understand, is that we are aware of their tricks, so we have to deal with it. That's the bottom line. We deal with their tricks, then we go on and implement our plan of revamping the mind of a black man, be it in the US or in the diaspora, wherever, in South Africa or in Africa as a whole, the continent. The continent of Africa is not as poor as they allege. Here we are in South Africa. You can see me, do I look poor? Okay, you know, when somebody is poor, you can read from. Okay, so we are people. So yes, Africa is rich, very rich, and it's even big. You know that Africa is bigger than most countries around the globe. It's bigger. It's actually, it can take China, India, wherever. It is big, very big, over 30 plus million hectares in comparison to others. So they cannot come in our cafe. So don't play like that. So yeah, no, yeah, basically those are the things, and it's a lot of things we need to deal with. It's not going to be a walk in a park. We are embarking on a journey which some of us will fall along the way, but we need to have a booklet that talks about it. That is actually the guide, which will, even if you are no longer there, but the book, they'll read they will follow what is in there. We need to have that guide, and we need to bring or scout for good people in this, or people with this understanding, to work with us this work. Because you can't take anybody in the street and try to make him or her do what you think it is or what we think it is. We can only achieve our goal when we can read between the lines. If you can identify the people who think like you do. Because what I can pick up is that up until now, where we are right now in this meeting, we seem to be on the same wavelength. So I think that is what we need to maintain. Bayete.
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 Bayete. Anybody else? And out of respect of the Queen and Chief's time, and to allow others to provide input as asked of Chief Patrick, let us try to keep it brief. Those of you who would like to provide input. So is there anybody else that would like to?
Chief Patrick, you had touched on something when you made the statement pertaining to the education part. It's the trick of the enemy, Hashatan, that the Cardi and Pemba has always wanted us to learn in their institutions, because those who go to their institution, they brainwash them to think like them so that they would draw closer to them, so that a way that they would be caught in the middle, because if we know that they are sellouts and not with their people, then and they gravitating to the Cardia and Pemba, that's what they want to happen, so that they will feel comfortable, that those who have that mindset and who's been through the educational system think like them, so they're not a threat to them, but they are a threat to their own people, because now we don't want to have anything to do with them, because now they think and have the mentality of our enemy. And that has been designed by the Cardia and Pemba to do to our people, because you have education is fine, but you have to have balance. You have to know your culture. You have to know our history. So that way, when you go into their institutions, you have a balance that, no, I'm not going to be swayed to the way they think. I'm not going to be swayed to having the things that they have and we copying after them. So when you made that statement pertaining to the education, that was their job to do, to educate us more into the system, to have us, some of us, think and operate like they do, so they wouldn't be a threat to them, but a threat to your own people. That's all I have to say.
Bayete. Exactly the point. Our people, once they reach that level, they are white within them. They are no longer black.
Yes.
So when you look at, they will look at you as a black man while they are black, but they look at you as black men, not them.
Yes.
They will behave like whites,
yep,
and do like whites,
yep,
and they will hate you like white men hates you.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But yet, hey, this is getting more interesting.
And we have a lot of those that's on the continent coming over here into the educational system. So they taking that mindset back home into the homeland.
Yeah. When they get back in Africa, they behave like white people.
Right.
Yeah, that's bad. Okay, others, please.
Out of respect of the Queen's time, because I know she's busy and it's late your time, we'll take one more and then we'll end. We can resume this at another time at you guys' convenience. We want to be respectful of your time.
Thank you.
I just want to say, I have struggled the past couple of years with toxic family members and friends to the point that I was losing sleep and everything. I didn't have any peace. And then one morning early, the Most High came to me and said, it's not by your power or by your might, it's by my spirit. And if I've already said in my word that I will bring my people back and the two sticks will come together, then you have to trust that I watch over my word. So take that burden off of you and start to enjoy your life and trust me. And so I just want to leave everyone with that. That's all for me. It's not by my power, by my might, but somehow he's going to work it out.
Bayete. Bayete.
Ayete, Queen Ngningone and Chief Patrick, do you all have any ending remarks before we end this here wonderful discussion?
You start the Queen or me? Start the Queen. Shoot. By Her Royal Majesty. Oh, I start.
Yes,
okay.
you go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity to be in the meeting. I thank the coordinators, organizers of this meeting, and the way the meeting went, and then the audience was so good, and I'm loving them. I'm loving them a lot. I want to suggest a way forward. We can meet next time and do this. It will be like a brainstorming without laying a foundation to work on. I think maybe a working committee to deal with what next.
Yes.
So, and to present it in the next meeting. And when is the next meeting? And these meetings should be regular. We must know that on so and so date we are sitting without even if no invitation. So we will know that we are working on something very serious, because as we are sitting here, this technology stuff, the enemy is listening. He is picking up every wording. So don't be surprised tomorrow when they corner you and say, never mind, we'll do this and that to you. So leave them alone. They can do that. If you are stubborn, then they can even eliminate you. We know a lot of elimination. So, but what I'm so dedicated to this is that when I'm eliminated today, tomorrow another Patrick Mashele will be there. So they cannot finish us Africans. They tried for centuries, millions of years, trying to eliminate Africa. They failed, and they will fail again. What we need to be is to be strong and be focused and believe in God, that definitely is with us. He's very much closer to us than to any. So we must not forget that. And then in regard to elimination, if you see the vaccines and all this corona, Omicrons, all of these things are another ways of eliminating the. So, but we need to stand firm and believe in our Creator. Yes. And hang in there with prayers. We need to pray and fast and connect with God. No more middlemen. Maybe we used to have middlemen, middle people. What I can maybe advise is that once you talk through somebody or a pastor or somebody, to this somebody will be jealous, and your prayers won't reach God. So you sit in there and talk to God yourself, because you are made of God's image. You remember you were made of God's image, and there was this word I'm loving, and be like God and resemble God. So when you resemble God, you are more God. You have
Yeah.
all powers. You
Yes.
have all powers. Let's be that. Let's
Yes.
take that to be our determining factor. Bayete.
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 Bayete. So when it comes to me, all I can do is basically continue awareness. Africa has so much to rejoice over. Africa has so much to believe in a strong future. All I can tell our children out there, the chosen one, like I explained, is not everything. Everybody that would feel the way we feel, that undeniable love, that unwavering love for our people. We are the way we are because to each one of us in this chat room, if you got up and got dressed to sit and spend this moment, we discussing what? We're discussing Africa, we're discussing our people. It means that the Creator himself has a mission for you. Okay? So, you know, all I can tell our children there is stay firm. You know, spread love, because this is one thing. They want us to hate each other. I even told Princess Ada saw me handle a few crises of people who were just coming at me like viciously. So in the process of fighting them, we found out a lot of information about them, and I could have gone public and really just do what they want us to do. And my daughter asked me, she said, Mom, why don't you put this out there about them, right? And Ada, do you remember what I told you? Is she there?
Did she drop off?
No,
Yeah,
sorry, I was muted. I'm sorry.
So basically, I told her, even in the midst of a storm involving one another, there's still things we have to keep. We are not to be the ones strip our brother or our sister naked for the world to see. For their nakedness is our nakedness. You know? So we do our part in leading, because a leader, you know, you're changing people's mind and stuff. Adversity will come your way. But as long as you stay strong, you know, on your path, what really gonna get you on that edge, what gonna really get you on top of the top is the love you have for your people. You know, so even in fighting, we have to stay loving. Even in disagreeing, we have to stay loving. The royal standard is God's standard, you know, and you will see people when they start seeing that since you have become conscious, you look better, you think better, you feel better. It's a matter of time they will join. So what I can tell our people is together we will. You know, apart divided we fall. So just keep in mind, you yourself have a mission. So when you go in prayers, ask God to reveal your mission to you.
Yes.
Ask the Creator to reveal. I know when I came to accept my mission, because I didn't want to come out, I was like, shoot, we lost the war. Now what? I'm like, what do you want me to get out there, put my face out there for people to roast me, for people to take shot at me, for people to feel that they can say anything to me. This is where I realize that African crowns are real.
Mm.
This is where I realize that we are indeed God's people.
Yes.
Because my sleep was no longer mine.
Mm.
My thoughts were no longer mine. My company, I run a translation agency I've been running for 14 years. I mean, they were taking work away from me. Do you they were like, if you are not going to do what we tell you to do, you will see another side of us.
Mm.
You know, to the point where even physically, I just started feeling ill.
Wow.
So when I came into obedience, I'm like, okay, my uncle told me you have to understand, especially as the Crown Royal, we have a job to do. Our ancestors entered into covenant with the Most High God to lead and guide the people. And they did their job to the core. They died defending them. Now your generation, because the prophecy said one of us will start that job. So your generation is the one to do it. And if you won't do it, I don't know, my daughter, what will happen to you. That's what my uncle told me. So as I accepted the mission, everything just kind of started falling into place. Body ache gone. All right. My client that were acting up and stuff started using my agency again. It worked like magic to the point. I'm sitting in such obedience. I don't want any trouble. So, and, so I'd rather deal with the knuckleheads who will doubt me, who will just spread rumors or whatever about them, than deal with the Most High God. So we who understand, we who can communicate with him, we must feel privileged to be chosen, to even be of use to him. So you see, so do not get discouraged. I know a lot of our family members are highly toxic, right? But when you're the chosen of a generation, of a lineage, powers are bestowed upon you. Go within. It will come a time with your word. You get people to act a certain way with your word. This is the kind of power the Creator will give to you. So please know that you're not alone on this. The way I awaken to who we are the way you guys are awakened.
You're muted. You're muted.
You're
You're
muted.
muted.
None on one. None on one.
Queen, we don't hear you.
None on one.
You're muted. You're mute. There you go.
Like peace is required in order for us to establish that connection. Peace, love. Love is our only driving force. Because once we have love for our people, everything else will be given to us.
Yes.
And that unity. Unity, we don't need to speak the same language. We don't need to be from the same tribe. We don't need to be from the same father, same mother. We just need to develop a code and send a strong message to the world that the African people, they're the breed of people who, if you attack one, you have attacked all of them.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
That's what we must get to.
Yes.
And nothing else.
Yeah.
All right, my lovely, amazing, adorable African royals. So peace in your homes, love in your heart, and unity. All right. I love you all. Mwah.
Yeah,
Until
we
next
love
time.
you. We love you.
Queen.
I want to say, yes.
Maybe before we come to the end, I've forgotten to say something here. Maybe the Queen will forgive me because she has already spoken.
Bye. Go ahead, Matthew Royal.
We have already, in South Africa, we have already started something with the Rastafarians, the repatriation systems. We have already acquired a land for them where when they come, they'll, because we have some Rastafarians people in South Africa, and some of them are coming from Jamaica. So they are like, we do, mingle, become, I can become something. Yeah. So, and then I want to advise maybe that we can also look at it and expand on that. Especially where some of our people here would like to be on the very same, on the repatriation, and then also have already acquired a license for a plantation of what is this, the cannabis plants. So it's there already. And then one other thing is that we have also members in the UK, and then in Germany, Italy, and some of them are in the US who are talking this language of the unity. So I just want to check with this house if we can invite some of them in the next meeting,
Absolutely.
so that we expand our structure, touches broader spectrum. And then, so yeah, basically that is what I forgot to mention. So that we speak in one voice. We're talking about unity. Divided, we have fallen. So we are trying to collect ourselves together. Bayete.
I would say this quickly. When we begin to awaken and understand who we are and whose we are, there was a question that came forth. What's next? What's next?
We going home.
That's right.
We going home. For those of you who don't know, my parents, my dad, during his lifetime, he married a queen. My crown, I got it from my mom. So I never understood why he was in court with the Gabonese government for almost 10 years. So my parents were fighting the Gabonese government to recover a portion of our ancestral land, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, my dad always told us, like, at the end of the day, all of you gonna come back, because Europe or wherever, America, wherever our people are, is going to be too uncomfortable for them to survive in that environment. So when I was crowned, this is what they told me specifically, that the land in the village are for those returning, because our crown got the prophecy that we will facilitate and we will help many take root. So for those who don't mind coming to Gabon and speak French, right? until we kick them out. We have 60,000 acres of land in Gabon. So, I was going to join Dr. Arikana's group because she did put out a call for the royals, those who have access to land, to go so that, they build cities and everything. But, I'm like, okay, we're getting our investors from the same people persecuting us? Is it where we're getting our money from? So if the funding is going to come from the white people, then we need to leave it alone. That's why for now, just kind of, I haven't made any plan with it or anything, but my dream, my goal is we ourselves found a way to raise funds. Those who would decide to go there, we can build in there. The land, the family is moving, the land is a gift. All you're gonna have to do is pay the taxes on it, once a year and so on. But the land is a gift from our crown. So families desiring to relocate and stuff like that, we have that available. We just have to sit down and think through and find companies that can, design a city, because we have to, build a city there. Those returning can take root and have a piece of land. So that's what I want to do. I want to go home. I want to take our people home. So if you want to come and parler français with us, let's go.
Oui, oui.
This is good news.
Yes. Yes, it is good news.
So that's what it is. I know that there's a lot of possibility to return, but I want you guys to know that the crown is giving land. Okay, however, a quarter of acre, wherever your house can fit. So you take root. And when you return to that land, you will do what our forefathers did. You fight for it. You fight for it. We don't compromise. We are uncompromising kind of people. Too nonsense. We don't sit down with rubbish and talk rubbish all day with the oppressor.
Yes.
We don't. We've been that way and remain that way. So the sons and daughters that we're gonna take there, past that, tomorrow I may not be around. Those who are gonna be, who already would have taken root there. That's the philosophy. Nobody comes around and tells us what to do. Not even the local government. We won't give them that kind of power. We will go build a city, be self-sufficient, do our own thing, grow our own food, develop our own economy.
Yeah, because one other thing where these people are killing us is on food.
Right.
Then when we grow our own food, then we'll have managed them.
Yeah.
By it.
By it.
All right.
All right.
So we're going home. That's what is on. That's what is on the menu for the children of Africa.
Yeah.
We're going back to our jungle. All right.
That will be the finest jungle they ever see.
Yes, in our jungle, this is where our secrets are. This is where our forefathers can shield us. This is where our power is rooted.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We can't fight them outside Africa and win.
So we will be here waiting to welcome you back home in Africa.
Bayete.
We have already started talking to our ancestors to prepare for your safety coming back home. Because the enemy thinks he's clever, but he is not clever than God.
Yes.
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 Bayete.
Bayete.
Okay.
Yambonga. Did I say it right that time?
Very, very writing. Yabonga.
Yambonga.
Yabonga, yeah.
Well, there you have it.
Yes, it's an opportunity. I think I'm going to run a very school, language school.
I'll be your first student.
but on a serious note, there is this discussion around Africa that we need to have one language that unites the entire continent and the diaspora the same. There's a language raised as the preferred language, the Swahili. Swahili. So maybe we need to start to practice. I can't speak Swahili myself, but really, if I want to, we can start to pick up one, two words, and up until we can communicate. Eventually, our children it will be quicker for them to learn it by it.
All right. Well, we truly thank the two of you, Queen Ngningone and Chief Mashele. We love you both so much. We thank you for being with us, and we are looking forward to.
No, hold on. Let me train you. Hold on.
Okay.
Let me train you how to pronounce my surname.
Yes.
My name. My last name is pronounced as, the Mashele. Yeah, that's how it's pronounced. Yeah.
Oh, Mashele. Okay.
Yeah, it's Mashele. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So you graduated.
Okay. Thank you. I told you that they taught us over here to pronounce every syllable. So all right. Well, thank you. Thank you, Chief Mashele. Bayet. So there we have it. As you all heard the Queen say, leave the what you've learned. The mindset, yes. Thank you.
The norms, the values, everything that you learned
in the diaspora.
Leave it.
Yes, leave it at the airport.
At the airport.
Yes. Leave it, because we're going back home and we have to be unified.
Yeah.
You'll be singing, going back to my people.
Yes. So let us start dumping that stuff now. Distracting ourselves now. And some people may say, well, I still got to make a living. Yes, go ahead. Do what you need to do to make your living. But start releasing the mindset and start looking at, brothers, I'm speaking to you right now. Look at your sisters and say from this point forward that you will protect them. Okay? You will take care of the queens. You will protect them. I have my queen next to me, whom I will protect with my very life. And I'm letting every queen know that if I am in your presence, you are protected.
Yeah.
Yes, I second.
Lucky queen, eh?
Yes. Yes.
Hey. Some queens are in trouble because when there's some danger, the men run away.
Yes, I refuse to allow my queen.
The sons of our forefathers are still around. They are.
Hallelujah.
Although you guys may not be in majority, but I see you are out there.
All right.
Yeah, no.
You
Thank
want
you
to
so
say
much.
No,
Okay.
I just say bayete to Chief Mashele and to the beautiful queen. We don't want to take any more of your time. We're so grateful that you graced our presence. And we want you all to come back. So we don't want to take a lot of your time up.
Yes.
So
Okay.
we're going to
Always
end
a
it.
pleasure. Bayete, my people, be blessed and divinely protected at all times. Until
Bayete.
next time we meet.
Yes, and please know you're welcome to come anytime. And I'm looking forward to what you suggested, Chief Mashele. I'm sorry, forgive me, Chief Mashele. I'm looking forward to what you suggested, and that is to bring others, okay, from Italy, UK, all over, to bring them, and we all come together. We can come together on this platform and to show unity, because we
absolutely.
Yes, we'll be getting in contact with you on that. So bayete.
Bayete.
All right.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Buona. Siami.
Siyabonga. Nami ngiyabonga.
NZAMBI, Matonda for being with us, and we will do this again. We love each and every one of you. And remember, let us be unified. Let us be unified. Let us connect. We are our brothers and sisters on the continent and across throughout the diaspora. We are one. So let's act as one. Amen.
And if we just wanted Chief Mashele, you can exit if you wish, please. We just wanted to respect you and the Queen's time. We do want to allow our brothers and sisters here to speak, because I know they have some things to say, but we just wanted to be respectful of your time.
Yes, we know.
Bayete.
Bye-bye.
Love you. Thank you.
We'll be in touch.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
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 All right, family. I know some of you probably have some things to contribute or questions or whatever. So this is your time. We just didn't want to hold them too long, because we know that they're very busy people. So we wanted to be respectful of that. So those of you that had something that you want to contribute, we're still recording here. We want to allow you the opportunity to provide your input, because we're family. When everybody has input, there's no one answer to this. So your input is valuable. And we're asking for the others that would like to provide input or, have something to contribute, to please do so.
I think we're just full.
Yeah, that was a lot, wasn't it?
It was good.
That was 2 steaks right there.
Oh, what you say? But I will, I have to say, the wisdom that we heard, there were several points that, wow, just really blew me away. Some of them were so powerful. The first point that Chief Mashele made, and I can't call it up right now. I apologize. But there was a lot of wisdom spoken. Some of what they said, the one thing in particular that jumped out at me was the unity piece, and how we have been so brainwashed as a people that we can't completely even comprehend, I think, the level of unity that we have had in the past, and I believe that we will have in the future.
Mm-hmm.
I believe the Most High will release and is going to release and I believe it has to be this way in order for our return to work.
Mm-hmm.
There will have to be such a level of unity in him, through him, and from him, that we carry to the point of like Brother Manzama was saying, that we'd be willing to step in and defend our family, no matter who it is. No, I don't necessarily physically know this brother or this sister, but
That's
spiritually, I know this brother and this sister.
Right.
Yes.
That's right.
So, and I think that, oh, this is what it was, the wisdom. The chief spoke about continuing to learn. And I think that this is a part of what will have to happen. The continuing to read, which brings about learning. That's something that we will have to do. And it'll be a continual thing until we return. But right now, I think, like you said, we have to be willing to continue to read and continue to learn. We got to be, that's the cleansing. Our minds have to be cleansed from the colonization that we have had.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
And the main focus that we really truly have to really understand is that, you know, since we've been here in the West, it's always been about individual, me, myself, and I. But now, in order for us to defeat our enemies, we cannot defeat him being an individual. We have to do it being unified. That is the bond to power that we must truly understand and acknowledge and work on ourselves and practice having that kintwadi, one for one another, that spiritual unity. That is a must. That is a must for our survival. That is a must.
Yes.
Elder, you just said something that was it was very profound. And I'm quite sure others picked it up when you said the greatest power is our unity.
Yes.
And I don't think
that's what we don't understand. That is the key.
Come on, man.
To unlock the door.
Yes.
And it's clicking, and we all have to allow that to click, and we click together as one.
Yes.
Now, I don't think a lot of our people realize that that is the greatest power. A lot of people have been saying we want our powers back because we know how powerful our ancestors were. We see it in the scrolls that they took out of the King James Bible, the power that they exhibited. And so when they say that, when there's a killing of our Black men, and they said that we were afraid for our lives, it's a spirit talking, you have to understand, because they know who the Black man is. And so they really are afraid. And so they're trying to, this is my thinking, my rationale, they're trying to kill them off before you awaken to who you before you realize who you really are. So they saying, I got to get to you before you awaken, because the Black man, talking about the men, are some powerful people. So when you awaken, it's going to shake something. Now back to what you said that I mentioned was very profound, is our greatest power.
Yes.
Is the unity. And this is what the enemy uses. So it's very powerful because they use it to our demise.
Yes.
And also the I think it was the Queen Ngningone was talking about how we don't talk down on our people, no matter what they have done to us. And Princess Nadia mentioned that too, about how we're so quick to you talk in such a negative way in front of others about, in other words, we drag out our dirty laundry in front of everybody, Black people as a whole. And you don't see this with other people. And this is true. They keep it within, not that they don't deal with it. It's just that you don't see them. They're not going to bring all their issues out into the open for the world and the public to see, to drag it out. They're going to deal with it from the inside. And I'm going to tell you, there's a book that I have, and it's talking about principles of living amongst the Bantu people. And it is teaching me a lot, you know, and some of it, you know, you see our culture in the Bible. When there is a community issue, they dealt with it within the community. So we're going to have to come to a point where we go back to our culture and we deal with it, where the leaders in the community come together and say, we realize that this is a problem.
Yes.
We realize that this is going on in the community.
Yes.
How are we going to deal with this instead of
Yes.
going out and bashing each other? And we
Come
and we're gonna have to get to that point.
Yes.
Allow
That's
me.
part of that. That's part of that power.
Yes.
That's part of that power. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Elder. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna end the video because we don't stop the recording because I don't want this to be too long on YouTube. So family, NZAMBI, I pray that you all enjoyed this and get ready because we will come together again and there's going to be more of us. Unity. Now it starts in Geta.